The reservation had been made 3 weeks ago. Le Jardin was the kind of place where reservations required a deposit, and the waitlist stretched for months. My sister Jennifer called 2 days before our mother's 65th birthday. Family dinner at Le Jardin, she'd said. Mom wants you there. Saturday at 7. Don't be late. No pleasantries, just the expectation that I'd show up and play my role. I arrived 15 minutes early in a simple navy suit. The host recognized me but remained professionally neutral. Good evening, sir. Your party is already seated. Jennifer had chosen the private dining room with floor-to-ceiling windows. She held court at the head with her husband, Derek. Their 3 children, ages 8 to 14, were absorbed in their phones. Mom sat at the other end. There he is, Jennifer announced. We'd almost given up on you. I'm early, I said. It's 6:45. Early is on time is late, Derek chimed in. He worked in pharmaceutical sales. I took the empty seat between Mom and Tyler. My place had no water or wine glass. We already ordered wine, just family, Jennifer said. But you can get your own if you want. The waiter, Marcus, appeared. I'd seen him many times before. His eyes flickered with recognition. Jennifer ordered appetizers for the table, oysters for the adults, truffle fries for the kids, cheese to share. She then launched into talk about expanding their house with Derek's substantial bonus. The conversation flowed around me. Derek discussed sales numbers. Jennifer talked about Costa Rica. Their daughter complained about school uniforms. I listened, contributed nothing. When the appetizers arrived, Marcus placed them precisely. Oysters gleamed on ice. Truffle fries smelled earthy and luxurious. At my spot, nothing. The gentleman didn't order, Jennifer said. He's been having financial troubles. Better to save money, right? Marcus's jaw tightened before he nodded and stepped back. Mom patted my hand. It's fine, dear. You can have some of mine. No need to waste money, Jennifer added, spearing an oyster. He can fill up at home. Main courses came, Wagyu steaks for the adults, duck for Derek, halibut for Mom. The children received perfectly cooked filet mignon. Each plate was art. My space remained empty. Are you sure you don't want to order something? Mom asked quietly. I'm fine, I said, and I meant it. Jennifer's fork scraped her plate. You know his problem? No ambition. Look at Derek. Started from nothing. Derek nodded. It's about mindset. I offered to get him an interview at my company 6 months ago, Jennifer continued. He didn't even show up. I had something else that day. Always an excuse. Something else, something better. But here you are, can't even afford an appetizer. Tyler, beside me, squirmed uncomfortably. He pushed his plate toward me slightly. Don't, Jennifer snapped. He's an adult. If he can't provide for himself, that's his problem. The table fell silent except for the sound of cutlery scraping. Dessert came on gilded plates, creme brulee with gold leaf for the adults, chocolate lava cakes for the children. Each presentation was exquisite. When Marcus reached my spot, he hesitated. I shook my head slightly. He can watch us eat, Jennifer said, removing the empty space. That's fair. He can see what success looks like. Mom's spoon paused. Jennifer, that's harsh. Is it? I'm tired of pretending. This dinner is costing over $3,000. He sits there like he deserves to be here. It's your mother's birthday, I said. Exactly. She deserves better than watching you fail at everything. Jennifer took a bite, the gold leaf catching the light. That's how life works. You succeed, you eat. You fail, you watch. Mom set down her spoon. Jennifer Mary. No, Mom. It needs to be said. Derek raised his wine glass. To honest conversations. The children had gone quiet. Tyler's hand found mine under the table. I smiled at the absurdity of it all. Indeed, I said. That's when Marcus returned with Mr. Laurent, Le Jardin's owner and general manager. Laurent was a legend. A third-generation restaurateur who turned his grandfather's bistro into a Michelin-starred empire. Good evening, Laurent said, his French accent still present after 40 years in America. I hope everything has been satisfactory. Wonderful, Jennifer gushed, suddenly all charm. Absolutely spectacular. We were just saying, excellent. Laurent's eyes found mine. Sir, may I speak with you for a moment? I stood, aware of everyone's confusion. Of course. We walked through the main dining room, past the open kitchen, to his private office. I apologize for the interruption, Laurent said. But your sister attempted to have the bills sent to your membership account. I sighed. Of course she did. I wanted to confirm before processing. With the wine and expanded menu, we're looking at $3,200. At 20% for Marcus and the team, they handled an uncomfortable situation well. Always. Laurent paused. In 15 years you've held an ownership stake, you've never used it for leverage. You make reservations like any guest. Tonight, watching that, he shook his head. And ruined my mother's birthday. Is it not already ruined? I thought about that empty space. No. Now it gets interesting. We returned to the dining room. Jennifer was finishing her dessert, already photographing the empty plates for social media. Laurent opened the door. Every head turned. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the interruption, but there seems to be some confusion about this evening's arrangements. Jennifer's smile faltered. Confusion? Everything's been perfect. We're ready for the check. Indeed, the reservation was under Mrs. Jennifer Morrison's name with a deposit for the private room. However, the final billing was directed to a membership account. Is this correct? Yes, Jennifer said slowly. We arranged that. And you're aware of whose membership this is? Silence. I assumed it was a family account. Mom's, maybe? The account belongs to Mr. David Chen. Laurent gestured to me. He is a founding investor and 40% stakeholder in Jardin. The words hung in the air like smoke. Derek spoke first. That's what? Mr. Chen purchased his stake in 2010, when we expanded from the original bistro location. His investment allowed us to acquire this building, renovate to Michelin standards, and establish the private dining program you've enjoyed this evening. Jennifer's face had gone pale. That's not possible. He can't even afford. I assure you, it's quite possible. Laurent's voice remained pleasant, but something sharp lurked beneath the courtesy. In fact, Mr. Chen dines here regularly. He simply chooses to do so quietly, without drawing attention to his position, a quality I've always admired. Mom's hand had gone to her mouth. Tyler was staring at me with wide eyes. So when you instructed our staff not to serve him, Laurent continued, and made comments about his financial situation, you were doing so to a man who quite literally owns the chairs you're sitting in. The silence was profound. Even the children had stopped fidgeting. Jennifer found her voice. David, I didn't. We didn't know. No, I agreed. You didn't. If you had just told us, would it have mattered? I asked. Would you have treated me differently if you'd known? Or would you have just resented me for succeeding in a way you didn't anticipate? Derek's business maxim confidence had evaporated. Look, we just thought. I mean, you never said anything. I invested in something I believed in, I said simply. Laurent's vision for this place, his grandfather's recipes, the way he treats his staff and guests. It wasn't about proving anything to anyone. Laurent cleared his throat. Regarding the bill, it totals $3,200, not including the suggested 20% gratuity Mr. Chen has added for exceptional service under difficult circumstances. That brings us to $3,840. Jennifer's face had gone from pale to red. But the deposit covers the room rental only. The deposit was $800. You have a remaining balance of $3,040. We don't have, Derek started, then stopped. You don't have $3,000? I asked. Strange. I thought the bonus this year was substantial. Something about expanding the house? David, please, Mom said. Don't do this. I looked at her, this woman who patted my hand and offered me her oysters while saying nothing when Jennifer removed my plate. Do what, Mom? Let them face the consequences of their choices? Their family. Am I? The question came out quieter than I intended, because for the last 2 hours I've been treated like an obligation, a burden, someone who could watch while everyone else ate. Tyler's small voice cut through the tension. Dad said to pay for my phone, I had to understand that money represents choices and consequences. Jennifer spun toward him. Tyler, be quiet. But that's what you said, the boy insisted. When I wanted the new one and you made me wait, you said life isn't fair and sometimes people have to learn hard lessons. Laurent glanced at his watch. I'll give you a moment to discuss payment arrangements. We do accept payment plans for bills of this size, though I should mention there's an additional service fee. No need, I said. I pulled out my wallet and extracted a black credit card. Put it on this, the whole thing, including 25% for the staff. Jennifer's eyes widened. David, you don't have to. You're right. I don't. I handed the card to Laurent. But it's Mom's birthday, and despite everything, I'm not interested in ruining it further. Consider it a gift. Laurent accepted the card with a subtle nod. Very gracious, sir. I'll process this immediately. After he left, the silence in the private dining room felt thick enough to cut. Jennifer stared at her empty dessert plate. Derek had gone very still. The children watched everything with the wide-eyed attention of witnesses to something they didn't fully understand but knew was important. Mom finally spoke. How long? 15 years. Since I was 19. 19? Jennifer's voice cracked. But you were working at that coffee shop. You had student loans. You were living below my means, saving, investing in opportunities everyone else overlooked. I looked at her directly. Laurent needed capital. Banks wouldn't take the risk on a restaurant expansion during a recession. I had $25,000 from 3 years of 70-hour work weeks and living in a studio apartment with 2 roommates. I gave him all of it for a stake in something I believed in. $25,000, Derek repeated numbly, which is now worth approximately $4.2 million, given Le Jardin's current valuation. I smiled without humor. But who's counting? Laurent returned with the receipt and my card. All settled. Thank you for your continued patronage, Mr. Shen. And please, next time you dine with us, allow us to serve you properly. Thank you, Laurent. Give my compliments to the chef. Always, he nodded to the table. Ladies, gentlemen, children, we hope you've enjoyed your evening at Le Jardin. After he left, nobody moved. The city lights sparkled through the windows. Somewhere in the kitchen, staff were preparing dishes for other diners who didn't know that their beautiful restaurant existed partly because a 19-year-old kid had believed in an old man's dream. I should go, I said, standing. Happy birthday, Mom. David, wait. Mom's voice trembled. Please don't leave like this. How should I leave? After watching everyone eat while I sat with an empty plate. After being told that's how life works. I kept my voice gentle. You didn't stop her, Mom. You patted my hand and offered me your leftovers, but you didn't tell her she was wrong. I didn't know, she whispered. About the money? No. But you knew it was cruel. You knew it was wrong. You just didn't think it mattered enough to say something. Jennifer stood abruptly. I didn't know. If I had known, you would have what? Treated me with basic human dignity because I'm rich? I shook my head. That's worse, Jennifer. That's so much worse. It's not like that. Then what is it like? Explain it to me. Explain how you decided your brother could watch you eat golden desserts because you assumed he was poor. Explain the math of that to Tyler so he understands when it's okay to treat people like they're less than human. Derek cleared his throat. We clearly made a mistake. You made a choice, I corrected. Mistakes are accidents. This was deliberate. You wanted me to feel small, to understand my place in the family hierarchy. You succeeded. Now you get to understand what it feels like when the hierarchy shifts. I moved toward the door, then paused. Tyler was crying quietly, tears streaming down his face. Hey, I said gently, crouching beside him. This isn't your fault, okay? You were kind. You tried to share your food. You held my hand. That matters more than you know. Are you still my uncle? He whispered. The question hit harder than anything else that evening. Yeah, buddy. I'm still your uncle. That doesn't change. Then why does everything feel different? I looked at Jennifer, at Derek, at Mom with her stricken expression and uneaten creme brulee. Because sometimes people show you who they really are. And sometimes the people you think you know turn out to be strangers. Will you come to my birthday? Tyler asked. It's next month. We'll see, I said, because I couldn't promise something I wasn't sure about. I left them there in the private dining room of Le Jardin, surrounded by empty plates and gold leaf, and the consequences of their choices. Marcus caught my eye as I walked through the main dining room, and I nodded. The young waiter smiled, just slightly. Outside, the city stretched in every direction, full of lights and possibilities and restaurants where people made decisions about who deserved to eat and who deserved to watch. I pulled out my phone and called my assistant. Hey, I said when she answered. Can you book me a table at Marcelo's for next Saturday? Just for one. I'm thinking the tasting menu. Celebrating something? She asked. I thought about that empty space where my dessert should have been. About Jennifer's satisfied smile, Mom's silent complicity, and Derek's business maxims. About Tyler's small hand squeezing mine, and his question that cut straight to the heart of everything. No, I said, just remembering what it feels like to eat.